All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Colman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. This week's show is a solo Q&A, pooling together questions that I have from my social media platforms. For those of you not following me on TikTok, Colman Power Organic Fitness, Facebook Colman Power, and Instagram Colman. Clearly, if you write my name, but don't spell it with me. Otherwise, you're like saying Ronnie Colman pops up, and I am a million miles away from that man. But nonetheless, you'll get there. COL, Colman the players, and a bit of Irish thrown in the mix there. So this week's questions coming up to Christmas are, okay, this one comes from Maya on Facebook, okay. Grass-fed animals, what are the differences, okay, between conventional and organic? Then we go on to touch on bone broth and its benefits. Okay, next question comes in from Paul from TikTok. Okay, how do vegans get collagen? That's just coming on swimmingly to, is cheese beneficial? There we go. So we go straight back up to question number one. Okay, grass-fed animals, organic, and I suppose the third option is conventional, farm-raised animals. So those are, I suppose, the three main categories of meat sources that you can come and consume on a regular basis. So farm-raised animals that I don't recommend from large commercially produced farms are something that can, for the most part, depending on what country you're in, whether you're in Australia, I know I have listeners out there in America, never see the likes of grass. And that just means they have a lower nutritional quality throughout their produce, whether it be cows that produce dairy or the beef cattle that we are the consumers of their meat. As I just always stress, diet is such, I suppose, a heated topic. I don't force anybody to pick a diet. I want people to understand foods before they do that. Whatever your ethics are between animals and or you're trying to hit your, achieve your fitness goals, it would be my first preference. And understanding that everyone's different and depending on what your starting point is, it's really key to, as I said, understand foods before we choose any one of the diets. So for people that are consuming and looking for labels that say grass-fed in America is a standard written on packaging, this means that they have, I suppose, a slightly higher amount of nutrition. Why? Because every vitamin and mineral comes from the soil. And then what literally you are, what you eat, and you are what you eats. So if you are consuming meat products, whether it be dairy or the meat of the animal, they have higher nutritional quality. And then for Irish farms, they most certainly are, for a period of the year, are left out on the land for as long as they possibly can without poaching the land, which means literally just causing excessive amount of compaction around the gates areas where they typically are, the feeding areas where they gather in high numbers. So Irish meat will be a higher standard than other meat products found in either the US or Australia, just because of the grass that they feed on a regular basis. And then you have organic produce. Organic produce is something that is the gold standard. They're both grass-fed. Why? Because it's in the standards of either the entity governing bodies that they are registered with, whether it be Organic Trust, the Soil Association, or the USDA approved, are the three main ones. And that can be recognized as logos specifically to that packaging that is surrounding their products. So if you're unsure of those logos, you can either go over to my Instagram, and my Facebook will also have images of those logos. And the European recognized logo is typically, oh yes, I have it here. God, just have it on a product here. It is a green leaf. For those who are new to YouTube, it's a green leaf with stars in the shapes of a symbol of a leaf. Does it have any other logo on that there? No, that is actually just a packet of mung beans that I was showing someone online Zoom consultation just there. So who is on a plant-based diet, who doesn't eat a high percentage of meat, which is just quite interesting there. So touching on the next point is about, I suppose, pork isn't something that I typically mention a lot about. Even if it is organic, it's just because the fact that pigs and ethical reasons, aren't treated that well for the most part, and it doesn't have as high a protein content as other complete protein sources, whether you're eating chicken, organic chicken, which again is quite expensive, and so is organic beef, but chicken even more so, because take the example of a chicken, we can get for the fact of €4, maybe €5 for a whole chicken, or the equivalent of pounds or dollars, which is relatively quite cheap. And that's just, I suppose, a realization that how food is able to be produced for that price. Food really, for the most part, shouldn't be cheap, especially when there's a life involved. I don't eat meat, I suppose, in every meal. I have, I suppose, a plant-based approach. That doesn't mean I don't eat meat. It doesn't mean I don't eat meat products. And it's because I'm for optimal health, and including meals and foods that you from Whole Foods, I much prefer to take either supplements. That is my approach at this moment in time. And I suppose I point people in the direction of whole foods before supplements, because the definition of a supplement is something that you supplement from your diet. So when I do consume organic chicken, I would most certainly use every piece of that food item, and I would definitely, I suppose, touch on and expand on the point that organically grown produce doesn't use the likes of antibiotics. Why? Because it's forbidden, and the fact that they don't, I suppose, use GMO grain to feed the chickens or the pigs or the cattle. So GMO grains are something, GMO is genetically modified seeds that are able to tolerate sprays, and the most harshest of the sprays is glyphosate. So glyphosate is an antibiotic. It's something that's been banned in several countries in Europe, and we're trying to get it banned here in Ireland and other countries as well. So if you are consuming something that has been fed genetically modified grains, it means that it has been able to tolerate sprays such as this glyphosate. It's literally, it causes cancer. It has been proven that. And big cases with Monsanto, and I've touched on that in separate episodes on the podcast, but it's worth just reiterating here. Something that can literally tolerate a spray that kills other weeds around it, and then we end up being the end consumer, whether it be spraying off a crop of beans or a crop of rape with the animals, such as the dairy animals or the beef cattle are then the end consumers of. We then consume that. It's an antibiotic that we don't want in our diet. However, there are studies to say that it's okay in small amounts. I sure as hell can tell you, if I want to consume something in small amounts, it wouldn't be glyphosate at any level. So it's about minimizing it, because right now we have polluted the soil so much that it's still in the soil, even on organic produce, but we're trying to minimize it. And it's about long term, because there's a lot of people talking about, inclusive of myself, microorganisms that are found in your gut. There are also microorganisms that are found in the soil that are killed every single time that food items are sprayed. And when, I suppose, people realize that you're not only doing something that's beneficial for you, you're also doing something beneficial for the environment. We're not here for literally a long time, we're here for a short time. We have to, I suppose, look for the grand scheme of things going forward. Your nieces, your nephews, your own children have to, I suppose, use that same soil that we are currently using right now. And then, I suppose, that leads me on to, I suppose, if you are consuming meat products, it's well worth using every last bit of it, in the fact that you can use bones to make a beneficial broth for yourself. And I have several videos on this on TikTok, and on my e-cookbook there's also ones too, and on Organic Fitness Program there are also people that do consume this on a regular basis. It's good for fertility. It's most certainly good for your skin health. And I suppose, why is it? Because collagen is found in the likes of bone broth, and it's something that it's found in the marrow of the bones. So the bones, I suppose, producing that beneficial product that we're looking for to give your, suppose, your skin that elasticity. And a lot of people are using stuff we call creams, such as, I don't want to even mention the name, you just get in trouble, because you're worth it. So putting that on a regular basis, I do recommend Whole Foods for, I suppose, improving your overall health. And it's not that you need to eat animal meats to get collagen or take a supplement. The answer to that is no. You can, I suppose, on a vegan diet, which leads me on to the next one. How do vegans get their collagen? In from Paul on TikTok. It's the fact that collagen is actually protein is amino acid. So remember that amino acids are the building blocks of your cells, and it's, I suppose, we can get foods if you are vegan or a vegetarian, and certainly gain the advantage of your body making collagen naturally, because it does that in itself. So key foods that do help, I suppose, you to have a better looking skin complexion and make collagen for itself are pumpkin seeds, legumes, beans, lentils, tofu, and tempeh. These are things that I recommend on a regular basis. Okay, those beans, such as those mung beans here in front of me, this is a high protein winning. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for protein foods, amino acids that make collagen naturally in your body. So those pumpkin seeds are not only beneficial for making collagen, they're also good for zinc. Zinc is good for your immune system. This is a winner. Yes, you've grown pumpkins yourself, and I do recommend people do a little bit of growing on this podcast on a regular basis. Don't throw away scoop out the center and throw away all that beneficial seeds. Those things can be roasted. Literally get rid of the gunk and put that in the compost heap. You can spread it out in a tray, sprinkle maybe some pink Himalayan salt or cumin, both full of antioxidants, or your natural electrolytes from the pink Himalayan salt, or any of those spices that you like and enjoy the taste of. You like cayenne pepper, sprinkle that on, a little bit of spice, zinc from the pumpkin seeds, and you had eaten that squash as well. That's got a beta carotene, which is also good for your skin health. Use every bish bash bosh piece of item that you possibly have, or wasting too much food as it is. Okay, legumes, beans full of fiber again good for gut health, winning, keeping you fuller for longer. Then we have lentils, such as those lentils, yes, lentils such as those lentils. I thought that said legumes as I was saying it. So the fact is that legumes such as lentils, there's dyslexia coming into play. They are something that are high in protein, but are not a complete protein. But when you mix them with the likes of those pumpkin seeds, that is something that can get you all your 9 essential amino acids. And that's how people on a plant-based diet, I suppose, are able to hit their protein targets for either losing weight or for building lean muscle tissue. And the last two are complete protein sources in itself. You have the tofu and the tempeh. I love those. Why? Because they're non-meat sources and people are actually eating there was not enough fiber, and that's what you've the added advantage of in that there. And definitely get them organic. Why? Because definitely tofu and tempeh come from the bean that can be heavily sprayed, and things that are organic are GMO free, genetically modified seeds free. There we go. So other things that really do help, I suppose, the body produce collagen is most certainly vitamin C. So vitamin C is found in abundance, not from oranges. Most people will say that. Okay, peppers, okay, that you can grow yourself if you have a polytunnel, and you can get those organically quite easily, but they do lose a high percentage of their vitamin C when cooked. So this is a nutritional tip of the day. A lot of people ask me, Colman, is it better to consume foods that have been cooked or to eat them raw? I definitely recommend you to make sure that every food item is different. But for peppers, it's most certainly something that you need to and recommend either lightly sauteing if you just want to heat it, lightly sauteing, lightly cooking, and or definitely eating them raw in a salady type lunch. This will, I suppose, gain more vitamin C in your diet. Vitamin C, again, is super. It's an antioxidant. Reduce stress in your body, improving your skin complexion, and helping your body produce collagen. So what else? Carrots. Then there's the other flip side of that. Carrots do contain vitamin C. They're a starchy vegetable, but don't ever worry about the carbohydrates found in vegetables. It's the processed foods you need to be worried about if you are thinking, I suppose, oh, Colman, I've heard before that carrots contain a lot of carbs. They do in the grand scheme of things when you compare them to other vegetables such as dark leafy greens, but those are not your problem. It's never the damn carrots that made people gain weight. Did you ever hear, oh, Sarah, I heard that it's the carrots that are making you gain weight? No, it's not. It's never the goddamn carrots, not the parsnips either. Those are lovely. Coming into Christmas, lads, slice them into dice them, pop them in the oven, drizzle a bit of honey on them. My mouth waters talking about this. I may do this today and remind Christmas Day, waiting for that. So that's your tip for you. Vitamin C filled carrots, but they actually increase in their absorption of vitamin C when they're cooked. Oh, parsnips and carrots. So yeah, get those on the menu this evening, today, tomorrow. Don't wait. And other things that are also high in vitamin C and that are in season right now. I love things that are in season. Why? Because I suppose you can get them local, you can get them fresh, and you can get them organic. That is the gold standard. I love people, whether I suppose they're trying to improve their own body composition, to getting them on the right track, to getting them to have the best type of foods they possibly can that are not only beneficial for you and me, but also the environment. I love that point. So dark leafy greens in season. Now, you have Brussels sprouts coming up to Christmas. They contain that antioxidant sulforaphane, as well as the vitamin C antioxidant that we're looking for in abundance here in these foods. So these are the high vitamin C foods that you should add into your diet to help produce collagen. Brussels sprouts, kale, whether you're male or female, that is, yes, a winner for yourself. It also contains magnesium. Magnesium is key for relaxing yourself, helping you aid in a good night's sleep. Yes, it also helps. It's overused it's used really in over 300 different processes in the body. Energy levels being one of them, and also relaxing your muscles. So those things I do recommend to get from whole foods. You can take magnesium supplements, yes, but make sure you're getting these from whole foods for the added fiber, for your gut health, which produces 80 to 90% of your serotonin. Colman, how the hell are you so happy? I'm eating whole foods every single day. I'm hitting the daily recommended amount of fiber in abundance with recommended 30 grams. Okay, they recommend about 20 different fruits or vegetables. That contains fiber. Meat doesn't contain fiber. It doesn't contain antioxidants either. So that's why I have a preference for those people going a little more veggies in your meals. Just bump it up. Add greens in there for the win. So dark leafy greens are something that can definitely, suppose, help you hit your vitamin C requirements. And that being the dark leafy greens I recommend. You got kale, you got broccoli, you got Brussels sprouts. Okay, and purple sprout broccoli is a winner. Why? And even you can get those purple broccoli or tricolored vegetables that are in season right now as well. So winter purslane is a final vitamin C filled in season crop. So for people that are growing, and I actually will be doing a growing core day course in January. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for those. It'll be hitting up roughly around the 15th or in around the 15th of January. I'll be posting all about that. I'll be telling you. So you stay tuned for that. Growing a little bit more your own. There'll be, I suppose, a day of talking about all things health, grounding. We'll be talking definitely about how, I suppose, if you don't grow your own, the beneficial foods that you can consume on a regular basis, get them from veg boxes to, I suppose, get yourself on the best type of foods that you possibly can. Best type of food that you possibly can to improve your overall health. That's coming up. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be in Mullingar, centre of Ireland, smack bang in the middle. So that is winter purslane. Winter purslane is something that you sow typically coming into the winter months. You can have in abundance. It has, I suppose, that common name, miner's lettuce, just due to the fact that when people came out of the mines, they consumed this in abundance. Why? Because vitamin C was one thing they were low in, and it is, I suppose, is something that helped improve their skin complexion and reduce the stress because it contained antioxidants and get a really fresh fish, lavash, and they're probably coming up for Christmas as well. That's why. So Christmas, winter purslane is on the menu, as well as the Brussels sprouts, as well as those vitamin C filled throughout your orange juice, because that is typically tropical and definitely not orange juice anyway, because you're missing the fiber there. And orange juice, if you buy it in a carton, I suppose is the packaging, and on top of that, then you have added sugars, and you don't want added sugars, and that's the point that, I suppose, whatever type of health you're looking for, liquid calories is not what you're looking for. No, especially with the likes of added sugar. Crazy stuff. I used to drink apple juice in abundance. Apples actually do contain vitamin C as well. I used to drink that in abundance. I'm glad my mother stopped buying it. I moved out of home about 10 years ago. Jesus, that's a long time ago. Anyway, I'm putting that and asking for that on the menu on Christmas Day. I'm not. So next and final question we're touching on is, I suppose, is cheese beneficial? Okay. Cheese is, I suppose, something that, if you are a vegetarian, is most certainly on the menu, because it is and can have so many benefits, such as a high protein source. It's a complete protein source, but it is also a natural probiotic. Probiotic means it has beneficial properties of naturally increasing your gut microorganisms. I'm always going to talk about gut health. Why? Because it's literally something that can change your life upside down, because it controls not only your skin health, we touched on a lot on this week's episode. It's something that is great for producing serotonin. Serotonin is a happy hormone. People need to realize that your gut, in fact, there's more different beneficial microorganisms found in your body. There's trillions of them than there are cells in your body. So a lot of people are saying it's the second brain. It could be the first brain. So if you are supposed to consume cheese, you are gaining the advantage of probiotics, but it's not the cheese that I used to have as I grew up. Okay, those easy singles that I used to make toasted sandwiches with, because those are about 99% plastic, 1% cheese. And literally, if you've ever tasted a toasted sandwich with that type of cheese on it, and you put it in it, will it make it taste like what? Put it into your mouth, which at high temperatures, and it seems like molten lava burning the palate of your mouth. Oh my goodness, I'll never forget those memories. Scarred for life. Yes, there's more cheeses that I suppose are harder. The harder the cheese, the more beneficial it can be for your gut health. So those are something that are unpasteurized, which are going to give you the best bang for your buck to having those beneficial microorganisms in your stomach. So I do recommend people, I suppose, if you are going to people's houses, to buy healthy food choices. Cheese is actually a much better present than, suppose, chocolates or biscuits or cakes, which are a common thing given as a gift entering someone's house at the Christmas period. So this is something that I will be consuming in small amounts of, because it's something that I can have and enjoy with family members and have with meals. And I suppose it is one way of throughout the day having one meal without, I suppose, high carbohydrates, which I do recommend to people that are on the organic fitness program. But I suppose not all cheese is created equally. And touching on the fact that organic or grass-fed, as we touched on in the first question, would be a preference towards something that is a cheaper type of cheese. Don't ever deem, suppose, the value of something on its price, but more so its benefits to you as an overall consumer of that food item. So whether you know where the food comes from, it gives you a massive advantage on knowing the benefits of it. So as we said, organic contains higher omega-3. Omega-3, where does that come from? It comes from the soil. So if the animals, whether it be goat's cheese or dairy cheese, cattle, cheese in general, the fact that it contains higher omega-3. Omega-3 is something that, I suppose, reduces inflammation in your body. This is what you want a little bit more of to, I suppose, improve your skin complexion, which we're really nailing down right here throughout this week's show. It is something that can increase the absorption of fat soluble vitamins. That's A, D, and K. So those are vitamins that can increase your energy levels. More vitamin and minerals, more energy. Who doesn't want more energy levels, lads? It's more so that about, I suppose, the idea that you consume these foods in your diet, you gain the advantage of them, whether it be grass-fed animals, whether it be their products, whether it be milk or the dairy, or those probiotic drinks that you can get right now, whether it be kefir, which is a fermented drink, which also can, suppose, something that I do add into my diet on a regular basis. And you can make your own kefir, and kombucha, or also other fermented drinks that improve your overall gut health. And Holo is the one that I currently enjoy. It's made in Youghal, County Cork, but wherever you are in whatever country, you can also find ones as well. But making sure that those kombuchas don't contain excessive amounts of added sugar to skip that, because you don't want excessive amount of sugar, as we touched on, because sugar causes inflammation in the body, and that's not what you want. In too much. My English no good, so it means I need to have more foods and more healthy fats. Why? Because healthy fats improve your cognitive function, and that's what I think I should have right now, because it's coming up time to breakfast for me recording this podcast. So coming into and wrapping up this week's episode, we touched on grass-fed animals, the differences between conventional, grass-fed, and organic being the gold standard. Why? Because it needs higher omega-3, omega-3 being one of the things people are not consuming enough of. We touched on how do vegans get collagen. So we touched on they most certainly use amino acids, because that's exactly what collagen is, a protein that can be found and made in the body naturally from the likes of pumpkin seeds. You go with legumes and lentils, which are a legume, and then we go beans, tofu, and tempeh, which contain all 9 essential amino acids. Then also things that help you, I suppose, to produce collagen in the body are vitamin C foods, not orange juice. Go with dark leafy greens and carrots. Don't be afraid of your carrots and parsnips for the win. Peppers, if you are consuming them, remember, raw for the win, eating like an apple. I'm going to set that as a trend. Check that out. Coming up to Christmas. If you are eating winter purslane, another cracker. If you are growing your own, get those seeds, pop them in a tray, get them growing and into a polytunnel. Bish, labash, labash, you're harvesting your own greens, nutritional value through the roof. Why? Because nutrition actually starts to degrade the second it's harvested. That's worth noting. So getting things local, fresh, and organic was and is key for your health. So cheese and benefits. It's a probiotic, which means it's good for your gut health. Gut health on point, tick. So you're going with grass-fed and most certainly being the gold standard organic, because I suppose animals are treated at a higher rate, and we quote unquote the fact that they may have only one bad day, the day they get the bullet, and that's if they are killed at all or only used for dairy. So that is, I suppose, this week's episode on, I suppose, all things skin health, which is one of the pillars of health. I'm a firm believer in and on it. Things coming up in the near future, retreats. Okay, you're looking to go through a healthy retreat, you get on to me, because there is no other better retreat out there. Okay, organic fitness retreats. You have Cara, nutritionist. You have Joe Maloney from Westport. Most certainly, all things personal development. You're looking to improve your health. That is something that I have done with Joe in the past, and have chats and improving all areas of your life, your health, your wealth, your love, and your fulfillment. Love being the one that I touched on with Joe myself. Separate show, really devoted to that with myself and her, recording that about 2 months ago. You want to check that episode out. Me being blatantly honest, it was extremely difficult for me, but I did it and done it, and that's in the bank. Next thing is, I suppose, Swannies, blue light blocking glasses. These bad boys have a sale on right now. Go over to my page, top of my Instagram page or my TikTok. Go over there, get a discount off these. I wear these. Everyone helps improve sleep. Sleep, one of the pillars of health. And following that, in January, as we touched on, there's that day event of all things organic fitness, both growing your own or understanding the beneficial foods you can consume in your diet to improve your overall health. That's in January. That's in Mullingar. Those tickets aren't available, but if you want to pre-book, send me a message and I will get you hooked up front row seats for that. There's actually minimal spaces available for that. So if you really want to go, tell me and I will slot you in. Okay. I know somebody that knows somebody that will get you in. Other than that, I'm just going to say thanks for tuning into this week's episode. And if you could do me a massive favor and either share this on your story, pass it on to one person, because if you have it on iTunes, you could give me a 5-star rating. That would really help with the algorithm in a nutshell. But remember, I just want you to start doing more things that benefit you, eating foods that I suppose are local, that are fresh, either growing your own or understanding where foods come from, getting things, I suppose, at optimal nutrition to improve your health, because your health is your wealth. All right, stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.